Mm. This is going to be about. I just saw the walkthrough for the Injustice Gods Among Us, and also I just saw the video package for Batman versus Superman on Injustice Gods Among Us Battle Arena. So I've decided to put my 50 cents in on the situation and what might happen. Or sorry, who would win? Um, First of all, I should just mention this. Like, after seeing that video package of Batman versus, or Batman and Superman's history together in the comics and whatever, it is so clearly obvious that this whole thing was rigged. I mean, even if Batman, like, people were silly enough to make the and vote for Batman um, as winning, like people like Wonder Woman and the Flash, which is completely crazy. I don't even think he would have beat the first person he was up against. I can't remember who it was, but like even the first guy he was up against, I think would have caused him quite a bit of problems. Um, but yeah, it's just obvious it was rigged. I mean, I don't know. People may have voted for it anyway, but there's no way it was going to be like Batman versus like Green Lantern or something like that. It was just never going to happen that way, which is weird because when you look, I mean, there's that video package must have been there from the beginning, you know. They were never going to do something like that for Green Lantern and Batman, or well, you know, well, they could have done it for Wonder Woman and Batman or Wonder Woman and Superman, but unfortunately, they wouldn't think like that. Is what I'm saying, because Batman and Wonder Woman have had some cool smackdowns, and so have Superman and Wonder Woman. They've had some really cool smackdowns, both of them. But yeah, no, it's just obvious. I mean, I'm putting a link to the video package, or it's going to be part of this playlist. Um, yeah, it's just completely obvious that it was rigged from the beginning, and there was no way it was going to be Batman versus anyone but Superman. And fair enough, whatever, it's their company. But in the other thing, I just actually did or saw the walkthrough, which has just been taken offline for the for Injustice Gods Among Us, and it's pretty badass. I mean, all my favorite characters have pretty cool storylines in it. They've done a great job of uh, doing a good comic and storyline for the Flash. Wonder Woman's awesome in it. When you see actually because you realize actually it's a doppelganger, as opposed to the actual Wonder Woman who's causing all this chaos and being really evil. Because I for a long time was kind of like, I liked what they did with the character. I mean, Wonder Woman is one of my favorites, as well as Flash and Superman and Batman. But I liked what they were doing with the character. But it almost seemed like from the comics, the Injustice comics, that she was just evil for no reason, and it was just like she was just this kind of feminist or female Nazi kind of thing, you know, bent on world domination for women, and you know that's just not Wonder Woman. And I didn't want people to, you know, everyone, we're fanboys, aren't we? We kind of have this emotional connection to these characters. We feel they're kind of like part of our lives or whatever, and they shape our morality and worldviews and whatever, even though they're just fictional characters. And I didn't want Wonder Woman presented like that. I just thought, you know, even though it's an interesting take, if you know the character for a long time, when you think of it as like, oh, this is going to be like some people's first introduction to Wonder Woman, you're like, no, because you know people are going to end up thinking she's just some bitch. But luckily in the game, she is absolutely awesome, and she kicks a lot of ass in a very cool way. So yeah, I was happy about that. The walkthrough was excellent. Uh, you know, her storyline was really cool. It's like there's two alternate. There's like the alternate reality is the one that the game is set in, and then the real reality, or our reality, our version of Superman and Wonder Woman, they exist, and Batman somehow creates some interdimensional, um, well, like kind of an interdimensional machine that allows you to cross over from one dimension to another, and he gets the heroes from that reality to come and assist him with the menacing evil Superman. And yeah, it's awesome. Yeah, like so. In the end, Batman's plan to beat Superman, which you know is a fairly good plan. I've always said this, like, okay, I think if there is one of the superpowered beings that Batman can actually beat, it is Superman. But here's the problem: he always needs someone else. He can't do it by himself. So when people ask this question of Batman's plans, his contingency plans, or whatever for these superheroes, you have to think, okay, are we talking about Batman beating this guy straight out, like straight out, or are we actually talking about him getting assistance somehow? If you're talking about him getting assistance and that's part of his plan, then Batman can win. But is that really him winning? If he has to get a Superman from an alternate world to beat Superman, yeah, it's pretty smart. He's very clever for having thought up the interdimensional, you know, machine that allows you to travel through dimensions. But unfortunately, he can't do it himself. He can't get the job done himself. Even in the two battles that he's had with Superman, the two most iconic ones. No, there's three. The two most iconic ones, yeah, are Frank Miller's the Dark Knight Returns, and also Mark Miller, the two Millers, yeah, in Red Sun. And both times, one time he needed Lex Luthor, the other time he needed Green Arrow. So again, Batman is not beating Superman on his own. So yeah, that's my thoughts on it. But cool game, looks like it's going to be awesome. I won't spoil much more for you. I've probably spoiled quite a lot already. I will put spoiler alert uh, in the description box. But thanks for listening. Like and subscribe.